Good morning and welcome to the AM edition of the Tropical Update from Cayman Hurricane Center. I am Adam McDoom. Presently, we are talking about Tropical Storm Dawn. Tropical Storm Dawn at this time located at 11.5 north, 56.2 west. It is moving west at 18. Pressure now down 1,007 millibars. The winds have also came up, now 50 miles per hour. Dawn, as you could see, is definitely getting itself better and better organized as time goes on. The thunderstorm activity is also increasing as the diurnal maximum peak starts to move over the storm. So as you can see here, definite banding features that are there in the system. Definite rotation, very clearly evident, and also the convective buildup really starting to take hold on the northern band, the core of the system, as well as on the southern band, and starting to seep into the system. As you can see on the satellite imagery, the most southwestern band is already starting to make its way towards Trinidad, the island of Trinidad right here. And as you can see, the band, the thunderstorm band along here, is pushing off towards the west and should be affecting Trinidad very shortly. And also a little bit later, a couple hours later, should start feeling some of the effects here in Barbados, and then eventually should push onwards towards Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and push onwards as it moves through the Caribbean. In terms of where Dawn will end up going, it's still a bit skeptical, still a bit unsure by the National Hurricane Center, as one of the forecasters from the National Hurricane Center stating that the forecast in terms of intensity is quite varied, and also future track, stating that it could end up being that this becomes a tropical wave, weakens out to a tropical wave in the Eastern Caribbean, or rather on the opposite scale, intensify and even become a hurricane. General track either way is off towards the west, and after impacting the Windward Islands, areas such as the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao will need to pay close attention, as those will likely be the next areas, the next islands to be impacted by that system. Also, just pointing out, slightly different from Dawn, we do have Invest 96L well out in the middle of the main development region out here in the Central Atlantic. This Invest area will eventually track towards the west-northwest, off in this direction. Probably will likely miss the Caribbean islands, but may need to be watched later down in time. Just pointing that out there, since I do have that there. But going back to Dawn, and in terms of forecast tracks, well, let's look at them. Here are the latest model runs for Dawn. And as you can see, Dawn located right here. And so generally forecast models, the weaker systems probably further south, further west, and stronger systems likely to pull more further north. And so there's a wide reach of where this system may end up going after the Windward Islands. It's pretty much clear track getting into the southeastern Caribbean through the windwards. But then after that, the spread really goes, as I said, from the ABC Islands, could go further north and end up not affecting so much of Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. But then, Jamaica, Cuba, the Cayman Islands would also need to pay that attention to. As mentioned before, Nicaragua, Honduras, Belize, Yucatan will also then need to also pay attention if it does take that southern route. But the general consensus between all that, put it right there in the middle of everything, and you basically got that sort of track. I've seen in some of the guidances, could be hurricane around here, and could be strengthening hurricane as it moves up that way, or again, tropical storm or depression or wave that ends up moving more towards the west, and we'll keep an eye on it. Several factors that do play into this is how strong Don is by the time it gets into the southeastern Caribbean, as well as how the upper level winds are across the Caribbean. So there are two areas of upper level lows in the northwestern Atlantic, and that's helping to stream a pool of stronger westerly upper level winds along the Caribbean here. And with these upper level lows, they are lifting up and out to the north, and as such, the up higher shear levels could also follow suit to the north and leave a sort of marginal, slightly favored gap to allow for further development. So we'll have to wait and see how things go. As I said, the key thing is that after it makes its impacts towards the Windward Islands, what's its intensity once it gets here, and how the conditions look, and how did it survive going further out here? Because remember, this is generally considered the Caribbean graveyard, the Caribbean dead zone, where storms usually, if they don't really consolidate themselves well before the islands, would end up dissipating or would prevent storms from intensifying further. But beyond that, it would give a better chance, providing that conditions are better. We'll have more updates on this as we go throughout today and on through this week. We're also looking at a possible live event a little later today, covering Don as Don makes its way into the southeastern Caribbean. Also a little later on today, I'll have an overall tropical update, discussing about sea surface anomalies, overall patterns for the upcoming, for the rest of the season, rather, and anything else on the radar. Well, that is pretty much it from me, Adam McDoom, for Cayman Hurricane Center, and I'll catch you guys later today.